What's going on, guys? Investment Coach Chris here, and today I'm going to show you kind of what we were talking about last time. We were discussing how can you get a free funded account. I just completed the tradenet challenge, and I'll show you my screen. This is the tradenet challenge that I did, and if you look at my P&L right here, today finished my last day, and the goal was to make $500 with a $10,000 account, not losing more than $100 in a day, only doing 6 to 20 tickets, which is equivalent to 3 to 10 buys. And yeah, so I beat the challenge. So now I get to work with a fund manager, and when he feels I'm ready, I just get to use the money, and they give me a certain level of risk, and that's pretty cool. So if you're interested in trading, I can show you the pathway because I just did it. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy this. But basically, this is what I did today to earn a pretty good total today. Was $519. It was with you guys. So if you look at this chart, so you guys is basically a long position on natural gas. It's a leveraged ETF. So if you see right here, it pulled back, right, and then came up, and then it came down. So what I did was, once this line right here, since we started the day pulling back, and you guys has been extremely bullish recently, so it's not surprising to have a little pullback. But what I did recently was, once I saw that this kind of dropped through here, we came down to here, I looked for a little retracement, I got in and then pulled out there, came back, a retracement, got in, and I caught this jump at this retracement. I caught it from here all the way down to here, which was a great $5 move in my favor. I took 200 shares, added 50, took 100, added 50, making sure I just get a minimum of like $100 every time I do it, because I'm paying about $20 in commissions. So well, I say 21, no, $3, so 12. So every time I executed one of those, I was pulling in about, $88 to $92, and I did that like 10 times. So the risk-reward ratio is worth it if it's profitable. I'm actually considering getting back in right now due to this pullback. I'm actually probably going to short it now, actually, yeah. So yeah, oh, sorry, I messed up. Yeah. See if it pulls back up. What I'm looking for there, what I'm looking for right there is we're in a downward trend, so it's pretty easy. I think most people could agree that we are, kind of like going down. So the question then is, when this pulls back, I expect this to pull back and then retrace back to the momentum. Let me change my settings here. Whoa. Yeah, so that's weird. Yeah, I have no idea why the screen did that. Anyways, yeah, and I don't edit these videos like too much. I just say, hey, here's what I'm doing. So here's you guys. Here's my position. Not yet. I'm considering, when it slows down, from this high point, there should be kind of somewhat of a pivot point somewhere in here from which we hit and then retrace back down. Now the hard part is I don't know how high it's going to go. So you could do two things. You could get in like right now, right? You could like get in and think that's it, or you could wait for this to ride out and then wait for a confirmation pullback. Because right now the volume's green, right? And it's going up. So that's kind of a bullish indication. But now if we have this big green candle followed by a small red candle that begins to grow into a larger red candle, we'll wait for a pull up of a red candle, then a pullback, and then that's when we'll set our position to buy a short. Yeah, so one of the biggest mistakes a lot of you new traders are going to make is you're not going to be patient enough to wait for a better opportunity, because you could have shorted right here, but now look, it's going against you. So if you would have waited for a retracement, an actual retracement for a reversal, that would be the ideal time to get into a trade. See what I mean? Now, if your commissions aren't too bad, you could take like some 25 to 50 share positions, like maybe a 50 share here, a 50 share here, if it goes a 50 share, and you can do that to a certain degree if you're using a small enough portion of your account to find your best deal. Now that is an indication of a red candle, so we want this to pull back or keep going down, kind of retrace, and then give us a continuation. We want to buy the continuation, but we must wait for the confirmation first. Okay, so yeah, this video is basically about, it is going to be titled how to get funded. So if you have any questions, email me directly. Also, you can go to my Patreon if you want to donate to some of the stuff that I do, because I pretty much am going to coach you. I'll show you how you can pass the account. Probably take you maybe anywhere between 3 weeks to 6 weeks to get ready, depending on how much effort you put in. I mean, it could take as long as a year if you didn't put in the time, but if you put in like an hour a day, 3 days a week, you should get it done in less than 6 weeks. So there's the pullback, there's the retracement. So now I'm going to short. So I got 50 shares there. I'm going to short again. So let's see. So I'm in for 200 shares at 121.97. No. So for this, if I feel that a trade's starting to go against me too far, I'll have to have a stop loss. But right now, I feel like, and we're going to switch over here, which is this is my charting I use. I use Thinkorswim for my charting, but I use TEFS for my execution. I'm really wanting U gas to go down, so I'm wanting D gas to go up. So I'm really wanting to see D gas have a bunch of buyers down here, and I want U gas to have a bunch of sellers. It's like kind of the ideal situation. Here's natural gas. Now you don't have to use this. You can just use TEFS if you want. Their charts aren't bad. I just started using charts with Thinkorswim, so since it's the first thing I learned, it's the quickest way I can navigate through and set certain criteria. But we really want DGAS to go up. That's exactly what we want to see. Yeah, we want to see D-gas going up and natural gas continuing down this path. That's what we want to see. Which is good because our PAL is like up to 600, 700 now. which is awesome. Let's see what we can get. So that's 726, 200. So I started this trade early around 6, so this morning. So now we're in at 200 shares at 121.97. Current price is 120.98. So we were about 700 up, so I'm going to buy. Boom. So that was another $200 trade. Put it on top of everything else. So I probably got out too soon too. And if I wasn't already up today, I probably would have sold half of my position, right? But given that I'm just doing these quick $200 positions on it, I feel that was the right move. Now again, if this continues down like that green candle, you see how I sold at the very bottom as the candle got weaker. Now if you were to wait for this to retrace up and then start to form again, you might be able to catch another wave, a nice big wave down here. And if this level right here gets broken down, if this price level right here, about 118.47, if it gets broken down below, but you called it up here, like you got a little small position and started adding up, those little small positions will really add up when this thing takes a big jump. But you don't want to get too big of positions early. You just have to, you don't want to buy too much, because then you're gonna maybe have some commissions eat you. And yeah, you can go use Robinhood app or some free app, and you're gonna get free execution, but it's gonna be shit. You're gonna have to pay some type of fee to get a fast execution. I don't care how good of a trader you are, if you can't get into if you recognize a trade but you can't get into it fast enough, you're not going to be successful. So there is a certain level of cost. You consider it your overhead, which is really cheap. Like some commissions per trade. So make sure your risk management includes your commission. Okay. Now look at that. See, that's a great short down. So I'm probably gonna short 100 right there. See if I can catch this continuation. So I have 100 right there. So probably that's actually probably a bad spot to get in actually. Now if I catch the momentum, maybe. But looking at it, the reason it was a bad selection is I should have waited for the candle to continue, pull back, and then go. But if I get kind of lucky and it does have a continuation, that's not bad. So let's look at this. We have 120.84 on the ask, 84 down to 56. That's good. 120.53. That's really good. Okay, so 74, not in our favor. 89. We definitely want 120 to go down towards 119. The closer this gets to 119, the better. So we're at 120.89. Really don't want to get to 121. Want to keep that. See, could have got a lot of better entry point right there, but it's only 100 shares, so hopefully I didn't get in too late. Yeah, 120.68. Let's get closer to 120.19. We really want to see if we can just get in this position and maybe hold it down towards 118.31. 118.31 maybe. I'm considering if it pulls back and then decides that it's can maybe do a continuation. Let's double check what's right here. Do you guys, I mean, it went out, pulled back, and now it's coming back up. Yeah. Okay. I'll short 50 more. So now, my position is 100 shares for 120.20. 120.20. Okay, so it's 20 cents over. Okay, now I'm down. So I'm not down. It's the price is down, which is good. So we want this to head down towards 120 is what we want. So we have 100 shares in for 120.20 and it's at 120.55. Now it's at 120.70. We want that 120.70 to head back towards 120, 119, 118. Be great to hit down towards 119 with a quick jump. That would seal a great day, and if it continued, it could probably end up being a $1,000 trade, or $300 for a total of 1,000 plus P&L, which would be a great day for me. Just considering this demo account, the restrictions that I have for the funded account, because basically this account grows every day, and I have a coach. Due to the fact that the tradenet challenge is, hey, take our demo, if you win, now you get to work with the coach, and then when you're ready, we'll let you have the funded account. I'm just in the waiting phases now, getting all the documents signed, and then I'll be managing the money, and he'll be my coach, and hopefully the more money I make, the more money he makes, so we'll work together as a team. So I'm at 672, 703. Alright, so just trying to figure out if it's going to push down or not. So we're at 120.84. Oh no, no, we don't want to go towards 121. That's bad for us. Yeah, it hit 21 and then broke up, but it still is in an overall downtrend, in my opinion. So, like I was saying earlier, when I got into this position originally, I should have waited for a pullback on a green candle and then a retracement of a confirmation of a red candle. So I got in early on this, but I only got in for 100 shares. So I do think, so I had right around 700, and now I'm down to about 595, 600-ish. So I do believe this position is worth $300 to $500. So I'm willing to risk up to 500 for it. Only because it's downward trend. If we can get a pivot point to start turning back, okay, and it doesn't go above this, that'll keep me comfortable. But if we start getting above this line right here, I'm gonna start getting uncomfortable and probably have to bail out the trade. But since we are in overall downtrend, got some red volume picking up at the bottom down there. That's good for us. Much prefer to be between 650 and 700 while I'm waiting to see if it's going to break down or not. So ideally, this is when I should have got in before. The red candle is a retracement back towards the middle average. Decides that no, it's not there, and it wants to continue back. See, that's kind of what we wanted to happen in the first place, but we got in way too early. Because we got in way too early, if it would have broken against us, that could have potentially been bad. Not bad as in like a negative day, but we could have eaten into our profits too much, but we didn't. We basically ate into about 15 to 20% of our total profits, but we do know that this could be 60% trade. So for me to justify that, I need this to be, I really hope I can close out 850 to 900 for that position, maybe if it continues down. And if not, then it would have, it'll be that mistake that pulled some of my profits. So over here at DGAS, we have this 6 represents, that 1 represents 100. So each one of these represents 100. So we have 600 orders to sell at 72. and buy at 59. We want the price at the bid to go up over here on DGAS. That's kind of what it all comes down to. And like right here, we have a lot of people buying UNG, which it's not really favorable for us because yeah, it's not really favorable for us because if natural gas goes up, then our position is going to go up, and that's not what we want. We want this position to continue down. Yeah, so we want these pivots to continue down. But if you see, you know, we're still below this point. So draw this line here for one of these here. This is kind of like the main point. We don't want to go up. And then we'll flip down here and get another line. And you kind of see how we have some, I guess you could call this somewhat sideways consolidation. That's kind of what we're playing into. Kind of playing into the, oh, we're sideways consolidating, but we're heading downward. So if we continue this sideways consolidation and continue downward, we should eventually get down to this line, and we're in it like until it's not that great. We're in it like 120 to 20, so like we're in like down here. For some reason, I bought on this red candle thinking the momentum was going to push down. In reality, what I should have done is waited for retracement back here, and then maybe right here got in for like a 50 share position, and then maybe back here got into a 50 share position, and at that point I would pretty much be in the profit zone. And instead I'm down like 50 bucks or something, maybe 40 bucks. Oh, now about even. So no, $30 down. Have 100 shares. So the goal for this position, let's come over here. Let's pull this volume bar down some. So the goal of this position is just to try to take profit at around 118.50, 119, maybe 119.10. I'd be fine with that. I'd be cool with that. Got a pull back there. So I'm going to sell some of my position there. And the other part, still there. So we're at 119.74, 69, 56. Keep going. 56. Yep, keep going. 37. 57, 63, 50, 57, 63, we're going to sell. Boom. So now we pull back up to about 768. So not a great trade, but I was just kind of tired of the position and ready to end the video. In reality, I probably should have taken it a little bit more seriously and caught this pivot point right here, and then I could have executed there. If I was, I would have been paying a little bit more serious, then probably could have executed that better. But at the end of the day, you can see the account's going really good. So as soon as we have the funding approval, I'll be basically videoing the actual account that I'm going to grow. Now it's going to grow slow because I'm limited to their rules. So what I'm going to focus on is high quality trades with 1 or 2 positions a day. probably focusing on natural gas for the time being. So if you were going to enter this trade now, something that I would recommend is you take this, right? If it comes up to here, if it comes to here, that's not a bad point to get a small entry. But if it comes up to here, you're actually getting a really good point to get an entry because this is in a downward trend. Now, unless something happens, news happens or something, this should continue to retrace down. It's 9:46 in California, so 9:10. So it's almost 1 o'clock. So this retracement, like if you can get a pull up, it's just continuing down. The volume is dying down a bit, but yeah. So you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm Investment Coach Chris. If you have any questions, feel free to email me or send me a message on Facebook. There will be some links in the description box. I have a Patreon where you can take donations. You can offer donations to me. In return, I can assist you in your trading. It's a non-profit organization. I'll help you learn as much as you want, and then you can donate if you choose to do so, but you don't have to. I just like to teach people to trade. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and you guys have a great day. Peace.